Alright guys, we're going to go over my review of the PL Turbo Valkyrie from Olight. Shameless plug for the Atlanta Braves there behind. Just kind of wanted to go through the setup that I have before I got into any pictures of or video of what the light looks like itself. This is a Palmetto State PA15 build. It is a 300 blackout, not a 556. But as you can see, there's a red dot mounted on the top. But then I've mounted the Valkyrie forward on the rail. Now, this is only an 8.5-inch barrel, it's really not that far forward. I like it up there because I like to grip the gun just a little bit further up. You get a good C-clamp, and as you'll see in a video or in a little clip coming up here, it allows me to clamp my hand in such a way that I'm able to actually click the light on and off just by squeezing my hand. It is mounted with a key mod offset rail mount. As you can see here, it's set here, and then there's just a Picatinny rail here that the light is adjusted on. Really kind of comes down to personal preference where you want to mount it. There's plenty of options out there, from M-LOK to just straight Picatinny rails, whatever you happen to have on yours. This does allow me to still open the battery door and pop them. It is, they are disposable batteries, which I actually like, just for the sake of if I'm out with the gun and I don't have any way to charge it, I can just pop in new batteries without actually having to purchase a more expensive battery. But if I'm also out on a hunting trip, because I do use this rifle for deer, it is more than capable of taking a deer, and so if I am out hunting, I still have that backup light, but then I also have the ability to just pop new lights in it if I need the flashlight part of it. It's a really nice setup. It is also a great setup for home defense with subsonic rounds. That way you're not getting that supersonic crack inside of the house. It is a little bit easier on the ears. Eventually hoping to put a can on it. And might potentially change the setup of where the light is at that point, but we'll kind of see where that leads us. But we'll go into some videos of the light working, as well as some pictures from inside the house. And I will say, I did not have an opportunity to. I have not had an opportunity to get it and shoot it with the light on in the dark. My range that I normally go to is kind of strict about that, but I have shot the gun with the light on it. I've got about 300 rounds through it. Again, 300 blackout, and the rounds that I do have through it are mostly supersonic rounds, that I would use for deer hunting, not the subsonic rounds that I use for home defense that are have less recoil. So overall, the light has held up fantastic. Still works just as it did the day that it came out of the box. I will say that it is a very well-made light. It can take a pounding. You can see here I've got one little scratch there. I did run into a door jamb with it, putting it up the other day, and it has not moved. The light still functions perfectly. The lens is good. So definitely would not hesitate to recommend the light. Definitely a great option for in the house, but it has a massive amount of throw, and even though it may not have as many lumens, if you look at the lumen output, there's a major amount of throw with this light. It's not overkill. It's not bright enough that using it in the house when it's dark is a problem. it does not really affect my night vision, but it certainly would affect the night vision of somebody that was on the other end. But without further ado, we'll go into some videos and pictures of what the light is like when it's on and being used.
As you can see here, I have the light mounted further up on the foregrip of the gun. Now this is a short barreled AR pistol, only an 8.5-inch barrel, but you can see it's actually mounted on a key mod rail with an offset rail put in there. I like having that here so that when I clamp the grip on the foregrip, the on-off switch actually rests right in the web of my finger, and so when I pull the gun up, I can have it clamped down. All I have to do is squeeze with my hand and it pops that on. I can also click it harder and turn it on, and then can kind of cut off from there. So here we are. As you can tell, this is a moonlit night. The moon is bright tonight, but very little can be seen. You can see a little bit of my arm there. Some of that's from the glow from the house, but you can see definitely with the as soon as I click on the Valkyrie turbo, you can see the hot spot. You see the rabbit jumping there, but there's a lot of throw with the light. There's also a lot of spill, so you can illuminate what's around, but then you're also looking at a hot spot that'll illuminate to the edge of the trees. There's about 50 yards, so it's a pretty good clip. You can see kind of a little bit of how that is. If I point it even over, you can see the top of the trees. Those are about 100 yards away. Anyway, so that's a really pretty good throw there. I'm going to kind of go back the other direction now. You can see that's about 75 yards, maybe a shade under 50, or a shade under 75. Really good illumination there. Picking up that tree's a little closer to 40 yards or so, but definitely will reach out.
This first clip we'll start with here, looking down the hallway toward the kitchen. You can actually see the light is on in there. This is what it looks like through the optic on the gun. It is kind of hard to make out, even, it looks a little brighter than it really is, but it is a little bit hard to make out when you're looking through what you're actually looking through because of the just the lack of light. Once I click on the light here, you can see it most certainly illuminates the hallway, but you still get that spot that shows up in the kitchen there. And you can even see just how bright it is, even with the light on there in the kitchen. It's still extremely bright, and illuminates everything immediately. Looking back down the hallway, it looks a little bit brighter. None of the lights are on. There's a little bit of a light on behind. Some of this is just the pickup from the light behind me. But as you can see, none of the hallway lights are on there. But it is, a little bit illuminated, but it is darker than it appears in the picture. But once you click on this light, you can really see the hot spot. The length of this hallway is probably, about 20 feet or so. Certainly, around, well, maybe 30 feet, about 10 yards total. But the thing I love about the Valkyrie Turbo, as you can see from this picture, is that hot spot that illuminates. So in a self-defense scenario, the light could be used as an object to really disorient somebody. That light click on is going to disorient, and it's almost immediately going to blind whoever's looking at it, and especially in a low light scenario, which gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to react. But at the same time, it also gives you plenty of spill so that you can actually see what is going on and where you're at. It illuminates everything around you, puts off an immense amount of light.